What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out Source of Madness. This is a weird one. This is a really odd title. It's got some really slick visuals and some other things going on, and it's releasing pretty soon to Steam. So anyways, if you don't know what Source of Madness is, you've never seen it before, this is a game where you are a cultist in the service of Yog-Sothoth, an elder god, and you've got to go out into basically a procedurally generated world full of procedurally generated monsters, and you find pretty much everything in this game is kind of randomly put together. And so, like, one thing that I think it really nails is sort of the indescribable terror of monsters that make no sense. We'll talk about some of the things I do and don't like about the game as we get further on into the video. But anyways, if you look down below in the description, you'll find a link to the game. I always include that with every single video. And then on top of that, you'll find a link to my Twitch stream, my Discord, and also to my Twitter, just in case you wanted to hang out a little bit more than just the 30 minutes a day that you get out of me. So let's go ahead and play. I'm going to pick up where I left off right here because, like, I've already played through the tutorial. I already have a pretty good idea what's going on. And, like, you honestly don't need the tutorial. It's a whole lot of, like, kind of walking and whispering and kind of, like, learning. But at the beginning of the game, effectively, it's going to let you pick a cultist. And this time around, it looks like we've got Amanda Lovecraft, we've got Banked Northerington, and then it looks like we've got Michael Smith, and they all come with, like, different abilities. So this person's got a slash, and they've got a projectile. This person right here has a slash and a projectile, and this person also has a slash and a projectile. So all of our generalist cultists, luckily enough, are basically identical. It just comes down to whichever name you like the best. So we'll dive straight on in and we'll get ourselves cruising. On concurrent games, this is a roguelite, so when we die, we're going to come back, we're going to bank our resources, and then we're going to go back out for another run with more randomly generated cultists. Right now we are inside. This is kind of like where we level up everything. You can get things like more health potions, more HP, move faster, do more damage, all that kind of fun stuff in exchange for these little blood points right here that you get from killing stuff. Let's go ahead and head over to the right, and we'll see what we can take care of over on this side. And I think really the first thing you're going to notice with this game is just the disorienting amount of, like, detail that has gone into the whole thing. We don't really have a whole lot to do right now, and so anyways, this is what my little projectile looks like. Every single weapon in this game has, like, lead-in attacks and then, like, a final ultimate attack that deals way more damage. So in the case of our slash, we've got, like, 3 or 4 slashes and then a big slash right there that does, like, double damage. And with our projectile, we fire, like, 2, and then the third one is a big giant bullet. This right here is the gate that takes us on out to the Loam Land, which is effectively like the first dungeon. We'll go check that on out. And along the way, we're going to be picking up new gear. It's got kind of like a Diablo styling to it as well. Like, there's lots of randomly generated gear with, like, affixes and things of that nature that I think will probably make people feel kind of stoked if they're into things like, you know, Diablo, Wolcen, all that kind of stuff. Oh, look, there's a monster right here. Monster, would you like to get slashed? There we go. We'll just take care of him real fast. I have no idea what this little glowing ball is in front of my face. No idea. I stared at it for a while. Never really came to any sort of conclusion. I just assumed that it's like my little tribal friend. That guy is really trying to hurt us. The thing you have to dodge in this game, anything that's yellow. So if you see the enemy doing like a yellow thing, ow, I've been struck. Well, I don't know if I got struck or if he got struck. But either way, if you see a part on an enemy glow, just stay away from that part. There's a certain level, so with, like, procedurally generated enemies, there's a certain little level of imprecision that goes on into that in the overall, like, Metroidvania experience. Sir, would you like to get hit by my laser ball? Yeah, let me laser ball you up, bro. I'm gonna fall back over this way, though, and hide behind some severed body parts. Yeah, I don't want to get hit by that. At least I would prefer not to. Let me see if I can slash him up. There we go, and down he goes. We've apparently lopped off a few more tentacles in this adventure. We can double jump as we're moving around. The jumping and the movement does feel very floaty. I don't know if that's like an intentional thing that they were going for, or if that's a thing that's sort of like just kind of happenstance, but you are very floaty in this game. On one hand, I'm thinking that it was probably like an intentional choice, because if you look at the flowiness of our characters' robes and stuff, maybe that's just how it works. But it's kind of hard to say. Oh my god, okay, somebody just tried to hurt me. I think the slash might be our best bet for right now. Yeah, I'm going to teleport away. We can press the shift key to, like, teleport whenever we want. You can knock pieces off of these monsters. when they come apart. I do find it to be a little bit disorienting while we're fighting the monsters. Sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out like where you are in the scuffle, but we have picked up 500 blood points, and it looks like we picked up a couple of nickels as well that we can spend at stores, so maybe we'll get some cooler spells pretty soon to play around with. Yeah, maybe, like, I don't know. I'm gonna teleport away from that mess and kill all these guys over here. And then Giant Crab Monster apparently has something he wants to say to us. I don't think it's anything that's going to be perceptible to the human ear. It's probably going to be something in terrifying elder speak, but I'm going to teleport through him real fast. There we go, and another one bites the dust. We've got a little bit more resources, and we've got a chest up here. That thing's firing projectiles at me, which I really, really don't like. Can I kill that? It looks like I can. Let me see if I can get like a... Oh, we killed him already. Good. All right, so inside of the chest, what do we have here? We've got a Flame Lance ring. All right, let's take a look. This is one of my big complaints about the game. This UI, really, really jarring to the eye. Like, it's just really overly busy. Like, I think I get what they were going for with kind of that old Diablo 2 style pre-rendered 3D to 2D sprite idea where everything is very grim and dark. But, man, this is very, very jarring on the eyes. We've got the Flame Lance ring over here. Engulfs your enemies in flames. Well, I'm not a huge fan of my magic missiles, so I'm going to go ahead and try that out. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of like a heat-seeking flame right there. It looks like it just looks for enemies and takes them out. I think that thing's dead over there, but it's hard to say. Either way, a heat-seeking heat projectile sounds pretty good to me, so let's continue off in this direction. We can climb up over the top of these trees. I think they are, like, laced with physics, so we can run on top of them, sort of like John Woo style. Oh, my God. Okay, all right. Taste my flamethrower of vengeance, maybe? Oh, there's so many of you over here. Okay, I am now worried for my life. I wasn't worried. Now I'm worried, but it looks like fire seems to be the great and powerful weakness. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on with the UI down there in the bottom left. Like, it does appear as though there's some kind of, like, latent cooldown on these abilities, but it looks like the tooltip is kind of blocked off on that side. I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Either way, taste my flamethrower. Yeah, it looks like it goes into a longer cooldown after you're done shooting flames and stuff. He's now dead, so that works out. See if we can grab some of that stuff right there. Alright, so carrying on to the right, my robes are flowing. I don't know where I'm going. My fear is showing, but I won't be slowing. Can I destroy that right there? Oh, those are like crates or something that I could destroy. I'm going to go up and over the top of these trees real fast. And oh my, that's a very, very angry critter right there. Yeah, let me just slash you down real fast. In the cold... Can I hurt him with fire while he's in water? I don't know if I want to drop down into there. I don't know if there's any real way... Uh-oh. Okay, there is a way to get out, so that's good. It looks like there's some kind of tumor or something blocking the door right there. And he's just like, I'll fly away! Okay. Inside the water, is there anything I can do with that? No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, well, let's see if we can maybe, like, get back up this way. Maybe I can climb the ladder right here. It does look like I can climb the ladder, so that's good. There we go. So that was my method of egress right there that I'd failed to take a look at. Another one bites the dust. Can I drop down right here? No, I can't drop down right there. Okay, well, let's knock that door out of the way. I feel like we're having much better luck with our flamethrower than we are with some of our other utilities. I saw my heat-seeking projectile over here try to go after that tumor, so it's possible there might be something underneath it that maybe we can equip to make ourselves a little bit more effective. I'm going to drink a potion real fast. Do I got to hold it down? Ah, you got to hold it down. Okay, fair enough. I don't know how I refill my potion. I assume by annihilating enemies. That room seems very, very hostile, so in order to do away with some of the screaming and terror that tends to go along with these little eldritch adventures, I'll wipe that out. Can I drop down right here? No, I cannot drop down right there. All right, well, there's a big old gnarly critter on that side, but it looks like he can't fit through the door. Ah, you doorless goober. You eldritch nerd. He can't even fit through a door. That's what you get. Taste my flamethrower. All right, now that we have wurfed the flamen, is there anything bad in this direction? Okay, there's some weird, like, gropey plants down here. I'm just going to kind of, like, throw some flames down that way. Hopefully he's not dead. He's still down there. It's kind of hard to tell when the enemies are wounded versus when they're dead versus when they're alive. Just because, like, one thing I think they really locked down with this game is that, like, one of the hallmark things about Lovecraft is that when you're reading it, the creatures in it are supposed to be sort of unique to the reader. They're sort of indescribably terrible, and one thing the procedural generation did on the part of the enemies is they did succeed at making the enemies sort of indescribably terrifying and also really hard to, like, read, really hard to dodge. The downside there is that this game is kind of like invoking a Metroidvania feeling, and Metroidvanias, in my opinion, they tend to thrive on sort of precision, predictability, knowing how to read the enemy's attack patterns, and knowing what moves will get you out of the way of them. And so in exchange for having kind of these weird procedurally generated terror monsters, the trade-off there is that it loses some of the precision that I think is like integral to an overall roguelite Metroidvania ARPG type gameplay sphere. So anyways, we got a new ring. Did we get anything good? We got the blood band. I mean, it sounds cool. What does it do? Oh, dude, it hurts me? Oh, I don't want that. No, absolutely not. That's a terrible idea. Let's never do that again. I don't want to use a utility that constantly drains my health in exchange for power. Over here, we've got a door that we can access. Let's go on inside. It looks like we've got a couple of terrifying individuals in here. What you got for? His name is Roy. Despite how terrifying he looks, his name is just plain old Roy. Yeah, I'll trade with you, man. What you got for me? So we've got Lightning Lance over here. We've got an Arcane Burst. We've got a Gemmed Hood that'll give us some life, some nature damage. I've got, like, mostly fire right now. So if it doesn't help me with my fire damage, I don't think I'm going to equip it. What does that do? Arcane damage? Okay. I do want to try out the lightning ring, but it's $837, and I only have $970. I don't remember what this big guy does over here. Oh, he's got a fireball ring. I like the sound of that. It seems like he's got gear of a little bit higher of a rarity. That's what it looks like to me anyways. It looks like his stuff is a little nice. But you see what I mean? This is a very jarring UI. On one level, I respect the detail of it, and I really, really like how intricate it is, but at the same time, it does sort of seem to assault the eyes a little bit. It is a lot to take in, especially when you've got other little pre-render objects kind of overlaying it, and I think that's where it runs into trouble. I actually think they could probably do away with the issue entirely if they just made this like a matte black space back here, or like a faded black space. And the same thing for the character UI, then I think you could safely ignore sort of like the detailing, the embossing, and kind of the etching of the rest of the UI, and still see the overlaid items right there over the top. And that's just a simple matter of taking a slider and just like darkening these up so it looks a little bit more distinct. It's less noticeable inside of this UI because they do take advantage of that sort of like that concavity and that darkness, but on this side it's very, very jarring to look at. Okay, well, the vendors don't really have anything that I want, so I guess, well, I'll take the lightning ring, actually. I want to see what's up with lightning. Yeah, let me see the lightning ring over here. We can do that. And then it looks like we can pawn off some of that stuff for a little bit of cheddar, too. Yeah, sounds good to me. I do like the drag and drop and the sound effects. They all sound very weighty. Ooh, that's hot right there. I like that. Okay. I'm a big Lightning Mage fan. I don't know if you guys know that about me, but I tend to almost exclusively go with lightning builds when I play games like this. Is he dead yet? It's hard to tell because his eyeball is still active. Also, he's a horror that's comprised of parts that are imperceptible and indeterminable to the human mind. And so, oh, that's not a happy sound. I don't think I want to go into the giant terror sphincter. I think I would rather not. Then again, oh, okay, my man got hops. Where did he go? Was he just like, up and away? Farewell, adventurer! I have no desire to impede your progress. Oh. Oh my god. Okay. I've been corner trapped. And now I'm dead. So yeah, that would probably be the risk. That right there, to my mind, would probably be the risk with fighting monsters that fill out the entire cave that you're attempting to assail them inside of. I was spamming my teleport the whole time, but the monster was so big that I couldn't teleport through him, so it was just stopping me from doing it. Got Howard O'Neill over here, per burrower. I think they all have, like, the same things. All right, Andrew Ward. There we go. He's got a somewhat normal name. We'll take Andrew Ward real fast, and I'll show you how the upgrade system works. So inside of here, we can choose between 3 cultists. We've got a tough skin over here. That'll give us +5 life to our generalists. It looks like we've got a life flask. Oh, we can upgrade it. Okay, we can get an additional dash right there, which sounds really appealing to me. It looks like at some point we're going to pick up a different resource that's some kind of like, some kind of turquoise resource. Okay. I'll go with Void Affinity for right now so that we get the double dash. I do like that the little channels right there sort of fill in with blood and viscera after you spend the points. I sort of dig that. It would be cool. I don't think we actually lose our resources, though, so this entire base is really explorable. You can go down these stairs. You can go all the way to the right. There's elevators and stuff. They go all over the place. I didn't particularly find anything interesting in any of those areas. There's, like, people to talk to that sort of flesh out the ambience of the game. But, like, other than that, it didn't seem like there was anything immediately relevant to my own survival. And so I sort of just dove into the Loamlands to try to get some adventure on and play the game. Let's give this another run. This time we're going to avoid going inside the giant Death Sphincter if we can help it. Death Sphincter did not work out for us so great last time. Yep, don't want to get hit by that. Here, eat my magic missile. Thank you. Chow down on it. It's a minty fresh flavor just for you because, man, your breath stank. There goes another one. Few more coins going to us right there. I do think that the enemies should disintegrate after they die, like burn off maybe or something like that, or maybe like melt into the soil just to keep like the area of play kind of cleared. The body parts tend to pile up in this game, and once they pile up, it can be sort of a headache to figure out positionally where your character is at versus like where the enemy is at, especially when they've got all these gropey grabbies all over the place. Yeah, if you would like to maybe taste a magic missile, I'd be okay with that. Just give it a little lick. Give it a little suck right there. You guys need to get out of my way. All right, fair enough. My man had a plasma cannon. There we go. We got him behind him and we knocked him down. I would like to see a little bit more impact and a little bit more flinch from some of the monsters when they get hit. Maybe not by the smaller projectiles, but by the bigger projectiles for sure. That thing's probably going to try to mess me up, so I'd like to... Oh, it still hurt me. Yeah, if you could get out from underneath there, that'd be great. And then we've got like 2 little shooty things, right? Oh my god, this place seems a little bit more overgrown than the last adventure we went on. There we go. I need you to go away. My dash is ready to go. Let's throw a couple projectiles at him. Although I don't really know if it's going to be super helpful. That recharged just in time. There we go. Right to the sweet spot. There's like that soft little like muffin spot in the middle of the enemies. And I swear, if you can tap it, dude, oh my god in heaven. Okay. My man's over here doing some kind of wild variation of the hamster dance. Yeah, if you guys could just clear the runway over here and let me on through, I'd appreciate that. Is that a door right there? No, it's not. There's no secret area right there. Okay. Any more enemies around that want to have, like, the smoke with me? Whew. Well, there were enemies that wanted to have the smoke with me, but they're gone now. That looks like some kind of terrifying, disgusting obelisk. Looks like we can clear it out, though, with our attacks. One thing that I'm not particularly a fan of is that even though you've got a mouse cursor on screen, your projectiles go in the direction that your character is facing with respect to the keyboard rather than the mouse. Let me see if I can find a way to swap that up in the options. It looks like that is not available inside the options. That is something that I'd want to be able to see so that I could run backwards while still firing that direction. That might be a balance thing that they've implemented. I am happy to say that all the keys are rebindable, just in case you're interested in that as a feature. Oh my god, okay, I thought I was going to take a hit right there. Yeah, get away from me, dude. I need you to, like, back off me real fast. I got, like, plenty of sword for everybody, but, like, I'm going to need a little bit of spacing to figure out exactly how I can deploy that. I think I got him right there before he actually went in on me. As far as I can tell, it doesn't seem to be any health pickups or anything. You're pretty much sort of limited to the potions you brought with you. Okay, so that guy's been vanquished. Can't get into that building right there. Oh, look, another death sphincter. Not falling for that one again. You're not getting me this time, game. The last time I went in there, you corner trapped me and beat me to death, and I couldn't even do anything. No, a thank you, sir. Let's check out the vendor and see if they got anything for me. I'll buy whatever you've got, because as of right now, my options are kind of limited. We've got the Eye of Cthulhu. We've got the Bamboo Burst. That does sound pretty cool. I'm going to Bamboo Burst it on up. That's what I'm going to do. Fire some little bamboo shards at my enemy with my left click. Yeah, it's like a little shotgun. Oh, and then it does an AoE. Yeah, I like that. Okay. I'm a big fan of, like, multi-damage attacks and stuff, so I think that's going to work out pretty good. The splat went over the mountain. The splat went over the mountain. Ow! The splat went over the mountain to shoot bamboo at things. That thing seems very, very beaky. But they seem to die easy enough to my bamboo shotgun, so... My man over here looks to be trapped. I don't think he can actually actively fit through that gap right there. And that's exactly what I meant about the precision comments from earlier. Like, when you rely on procedural generation and, like, giant crazy monsters, you lose something with regards to, like, the precision that is normally expected from a game that's kind of capitalizing on Metroidvania flair. We got a fireball ring and a slash over here. I will take the fireball ring, sir. I want to try out the fireball ring. Let's see what fireball can do for us out here. It is quite literally a fireball. And it looks like it's got kind of like a grenade-style interaction to it as well. Yeah, let's maybe... So let's go bamboo on left, fireball on right. Good sound design. Very, very terrifying sounding monster. Are you just going to jump away again, dude? Because if you're just going to jump away again, I don't want to play with you. Oh, I pulled my fireball because I got smacked in the domery-womeries. Dude, I'm getting obliterated right now. I was going to say, if I can pull him back to a gap that he, like, can't necessarily fit through, I think we might have a shot here, but it's hard to say. I assume that that sort of, like, beaky shovel thing on the front of him is going to fall off at some point if I keep damaging it. Oh, did he fly away again? Nope, he did not fly away. Oh, he's trying to go up and over the top. I see what's happening here. That's kind of interesting that the monster knows it can't fit, so it's trying to traverse the map in other ways. Yeah, eat fireball, bro. I don't think we've hurt this thing very much. I think he's sort of like scoffing at my paltry damage right now. Oh, he came down the other side. Gotcha. I'm going to attack his little leggy back here. Try not to get hit by any bullets. I don't really have a whole lot of health left to play with, and I'd rather not die right here. Oh, no, 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 no. Well, see, now you done got yourself stuck, man. You're going to have to call the Eldritch Fire Department to come dig you out. And see, now you're dead. Do you see what happened right there? Now you're dead. So it looks like we picked up some new items right there. What exactly did we get? So we got the Arcane Mass. That's going to give us nature and lightning resistance. And then we've got the Arcane Guardian, a floating crystal that follows you around shooting at enemies. Oh, cool. Nice. Is that like a consumable that I have to do? It looks like it is. Okay, so I don't know if those are... I feel like those are probably not permanent buffs. Those are probably temporary buffs. But I think we may have defeated, like, the first gnarly crit. What the hell is that thing, dude? A blood sacrifice? I don't really have much blood left to give, man. I'm kind of beat up right now. Like, I'm not feeling intensely so great. The Cave of Lost Souls. Poor unfortunate souls, Disney, don't sue. The altar of pyromancers has been found. Is that a good thing? I honestly can't say. We got our health back, though, at the beginning of the new level, so I'll take that as a bonus. Very, very strange aesthetic to this game. Very foreign and very sort of hard to decipher visually. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, in all honesty. Like, it definitely stands out. Yeah, I'm just gonna hide in my little cubby hole down here. And, like, if you want to try to come down here, I'm okay with that, but I'm just gonna spam spells at you until you fall over. Just get stuck in that hole right there. Oh my. Okay. Alright. Enthusiasm. I like to see... Ow! Okay. Normally, I like to see enthusiasm from my dungeon enemies, but you're making this kind of horrifying. The way you're trying to, like, wheedle your way into these little gaps that I'm currently occupying concerns me. But on the topic of concerns, what are some of the things I do and do not like about Source of Madness? I'll start out with the good stuff. I really like the artistic design of the game. I feel like they really locked down that sort of claustrophobic feeling, that sort of disorienting feeling of a world that you don't understand, which is a big part of Lovecraftian design. And I think where a lot of people miss the ball, like, it's fairly easy. What they'll normally do with Lovecraftian games is it'll start out in a world that's like in the 1910s, 1920s, you know what I mean? And it'll be slowly encroached upon. I sort of like that the world of this game is already fully corrupted. Like, it has been taken over by the eldritch gods, effectively. And I think that the art design of the game works very, very well. There's sort of a feeling to a lot of the content and the background design of this game that makes it feel as though it was grown rather than built. And I think that's actually an attribute that makes the game pop out a little bit more. I really like the sound design. I think that some of the monster shrieks and howls are actually... I had my volume up pretty high while I was recording this, and it kind of sent like a chill down my spine with some of the monster roars and whatnot. They were pretty intense. And then I also really, really like the music design of the game. In fact, I think aesthetically, they did a really, really good job with the game, aside from the actual UI where you're buying and selling things. I think that that's a little bit busy, but we already talked about that to call that back into question. Aside from that, I do think that the jumping is a little tiny bit floaty for me. That's more of like a preferential thing. Some people like the sort of floaty jumps, and there are times, in fact, while I was playing this, that I did enjoy the floaty jumps as well. I sort of like that if a monster caught you with a tentacle and flung you up into the air, you kind of float downwards while blasting and whatnot. That actually made it feel pretty cool. But in general, when it comes to like Metroidvania type gameplay, I personally tend to prefer that jumping have a little bit more weight to it. When it comes to the weapons and the spell design, I like that very, very much. One thing that I would add maybe to the description of the spells, though, is that as I was playing, I noticed that some of the spells fire based on your left hand. So if you're holding down A or D, it depends on the facing of your character. But then other spells can be fired over your shoulder or fired omnidirectionally. And there doesn't seem to be an indication on the ring. Maybe I missed it. But there doesn't seem to be an indication on the actual tooltip itself whether or not a spell is omnidirectional or if it can only fire in the direction that you're facing. That all out of the way, I actually really, really like the spell. I especially like that little thunderclap spell that we had a play or two ago, and I really like the flamethrower spell as well that allows me to wurf some flamen all over the place. My real thing with this game is that, like, I think it's bold to make a game where every single monster is procedurally generated. And in the case of this game, I think it's something that works really, really well aesthetically. But from, like, a gameplay perspective, we talked about that earlier, where Metroidvania mechanics tend to rely on very, very tight hitboxes and very, very tight signals that you're about to get hit, and very tight feedback that you're either hitting or getting hit. And with this game, I think the procedural nature of the monsters, there's a number of times in the game where I wasn't quite sure what I got hit by. There wasn't a ton of feedback to actually indicate that I had been hit in the first place. And so I think those are two things that could really, really be ramped up. It needs to be, like, readily apparent when you take a hit effectively. It needs to launch you, or it needs to make like a noise or some kind of plosive noise that makes it really indicative that you've been hit. Aside from that, as you can, like, the monsters, you tend to end up inside the monsters in this game, and if you're killing a lot of stuff, it's easy to get caught up inside of a bunch of debris or inside, like, the actual construction of the monster itself, the body parts. And in those cases, it can be very, very easy to sort of lose your character as well. And when there's a lot of projectiles flying around and there's things you're supposed to be dodging, it can also get in the way of you actually, like, registering, you know, oh, I need to dodge right now or whatever. Because honestly, when you get swarmed by like 4 or 5 tentacle monsters, it can be kind of hard to tell where you're at on the screen some of the time. But other than that, that's just kind of the things that I noticed. I think aesthetically, this game does, like, a really, really good job. I really, really like the dash move. Like, I feel like the dash actually feels really, really great, and you can kind of guide it, too, in sort of, like, lateral directions up and down as well if you're trying to make progress. So, like, honestly, this is one of those games where, with some work, I definitely think it could be, like, in a really, really good spot. And I think they've already got the visual aspect of the game locked down. And so from there, it's just tightening up the gameplay and making it so the player can, like, read when they're going to take a hit, when they've been hit, when they've been hitting, and stuff like that. So anyways, my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day, so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we had Source of Madness. Tomorrow, we will very likely have something else. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet tomorrow.